Welcome to Slow Your Scroll, where we get to meet some of Hawaii's biggest content creators. Today, we're turning the tables on our guest. He's used to asking people questions in man-on-the-street style interviews. I'm joined today by Micah Tengan. Thank you for being here. We got a whole lot of questions for you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. So you have over 1 million followers on TikTok.
Yes.
You have close to about 400,000 followers on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start at the beginning. How did you get started with content creation?
Wow, it's been a journey for sure. But the way I got started was in high school, actually. I started doing content in high school. It was like my sophomore, junior year, and I posted a silly video, like for fun, and it actually on TikTok, and it went viral, like really viral. Maybe like, I remember I posted it that night before, and the next day, all of my friends were like, "Wait, Micah, you're blowing up. You're TikTok famous now." And I was like, "Wait, really?" And so I just looked over my my feed, and the view just kept increasing and increasing. I think the video got to like 3 million views, and as like a high school student, I was like shocked. I didn't know like what was happening. I was like, "Wow, this is a lot of views," you know, and so. It was kind of all new to me. I was just kind of soaking it in, like, you know. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then ever since that moment, I just kept going because I thought it was just fun to do, and I just loved filming like every moment. Like I used to film everything, like throughout my day, like friends and going to the beach, just having fun, and yeah, that's how it started. Yeah.
And what was that video? I tried to go back
Yeah.
on your TikTok page, and for what I could tell, it was you trying to cook something, but almost in like a sarcastic way. But maybe that wasn't the video. Maybe there's a different video. What was the first video?
The first video, it actually was me throwing Captain America's shield made out of like a garbage can like cover, and I threw it and I made it in reverse, and so it like looked like I was receiving the shield, like almost. And that video, like, it was just super like dumb. I didn't even know what I was doing, but it went viral, and so that was like the beginning of the journey.
What do you attribute the virality to? Like, did you make certain hashtags, or like what about that video do you think just caught on for people?
Well, I did so I did post that video, and I put a few hashtags, nothing too crazy, just like For You page and stuff like that. But ever since that video, after that, meeting more like content creators in the space, they taught me a lot about like what to post and like what not to post, like what does better than other things. So I think I've learned the most from other content creators throughout the journey.
And what are those type of things that they told you? What are those things you learned?
The things that I've learned mainly is like consistency. Like you have to post, even though you don't want to post, you have to just post at least like 4 to 5 times a week. And for me, during that time, I was just posting whatever, whenever, you know. So they were kind of getting me on a schedule to post this amount of times a week, and then yeah, just that, and just being consistent with it, and also pumping out higher quality content and less low quality content.
What is something that you would say makes a video high quality, and what's something that would make a video low quality?
I would say,
Other than obviously like pixels and you know, things like that.
yeah, it comes down to make a video high quality. I think it comes down to how like the editing of it. Like the editing is probably like the biggest part of like content creation, because you can take a video from like looking regular basic to like it doesn't even look like that original video anymore, because it's all about the editing. I think that is like the biggest part of the whole content creation thing is editing. Yeah.
Yeah, so making kind of clean cuts,
Yeah.
is that right? And
Clean cuts and visual like effects to make it like interesting for the viewers. Also, like I really learned a lot from like how to draw in the viewer, like hooks for the video, how to kind of drag the audience in and keep their attention, because like everyone is just mindlessly scrolling on these apps, you know. And so how do you get their attention for just 15 seconds for that video, you know?
What are some good hooks that you've learned and picked up on?
So I think a lot of the time in the beginning when I started content, I use a lot of visual hooks, like a lot of visual, like, oh, what is this guy doing now? You know, stuff like that. But recently with my interview content, I'm doing more like, excuse me, like just something like shouting or something, or like I'm like running up to someone, or um, and it's like catches the viewers off guard. They're like, oh, what is he doing? And so then they're intentionally like they stop and then they look more, you know. But that's like the most important part of the video is the first part, first like 3 seconds of the video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've learned that in news,
Yeah.
that we have 3 seconds to capture that viewer's attention and retain them.
Yeah.
So same thing here as on social media, probably even more so on social media because you have that ability to scroll to the next thing so quickly. When it comes to that editing, is that you that's editing these videos, or who's behind that?
Yeah, so I have been editing videos for like 4 to 5 years now. It was definitely a work in progress, but as you start editing, you get better at it. So I was really bad in the beginning, like, and my videos in the beginning got very few views, but I just kept editing, kept getting better, and the video started to perform better. So, yeah, I'd say 80% of it is editing for sure. Yeah.
How long does it normally take you to edit one of your videos?
Um, Back in the day, it took like maybe, I'd say an hour to edit a video. But now, like that, I'm pumping out these like interview style videos. These actually take a long time, and a lot of people don't understand how hard it actually is, you know, to like edit these videos. But I'm like a perfectionist too, so I like to be proud of my content, like when I'm posting now. So that's why it takes like maybe 4 to 5 hours to edit one video. Yeah. It depends on the video too, though. But yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
From posting on my own stuff, I feel like I'm a little bit like you in that perfectionist type of thing. If there's just a little flash frame or a jump cut, it could take, 10, 15 minutes just to
Yeah.
try and smooth that out.
Yeah.
So who comes up with all the questions that you're giving to people? Is that you? Or?
Yes. So actually, I come up with all the questions and stuff like that for my interviews. It takes a lot of brainstorming. I actually like to meditate. So whenever I meditate, I think about these ideas, and this is usually at night, like before I sleep. I close my eyes and I just think about different questions and ideas, and that's kind of like how it just naturally comes to me. And then when I think of an idea, I just write it in my notes, and then yeah, I just have a bunch of questions, and then the next day I just do it. You know?
So it's almost a one-man band kind of a thing. Obviously, you're coming up with the questions, you're editing, but you can't film these things. Someone is
Yeah.
filming for you. Who's the one behind the camera?
So originally I first started. My friend, he moved away off island. His name is Calvin, but he helped me from the beginning, and he is an awesome person. But he moved to LA to actually help one of our other YouTuber friends, Ian Boggs, actually, and he moved out there to help him, and I had to stay here because I'm in school. So after that, my sister actually helped me film a little bit, and then now I have my current cameraman and friend that helps me out. His name is Kavika. He's actually right here.
I wish
but-
I could swing the camera, but I
No,
don't
yeah,
want
but-
to mess up the framing on you.
You know, yeah,
We'll get
good.
some videos of Kavika in a bit.
No, yeah, but my friend Kavika, he helps me a lot with a lot of videos, and he's very nice. He helps me out with a lot of things, so I'm very appreciative of everyone that helps me. Yeah.
How long does one of these videos take to film?
Oh wow.
On average, I know some probably are
Yeah.
longer than another, but on average,
On
from
average,
start to finish, we'll say from the minute you're filming to when you're gonna post.
Wow. So filming these videos, it takes a long time, and especially interviews, since it's public. I go up to like so many different people, and I get rejected at like 8 out of 10 times. So everyone sees the good things about social media, like the good side, but there's a lot of like rejections and turn downs, and I just have to keep going until like I get the video done, right? So that's like the hardest part of it, but yeah, yeah.
So how long would you say that takes though? Like
Um,
from start to finish? If we watch a 20-second clip, right?
mhm.
How long does it take to put a 20-second clip together?
Wow. So the everything like the editing and everything.
Yeah.
So filming the video, like especially if it's like I do videos of giving back. So those videos take the longest. Those videos take about like 2 to 3 hours to film total, and then the editing process takes about like 3 to 4 hours, depending. Yeah. So total would be like 7 to 8 hours for the whole video, and that's just one day. So imagine posting videos 4 to 5 times a week, and just it just adds up. Plus, I'm in school and doing all this other stuff, so it's a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Content creation is literally a full-time job, 7, 8 hours a day,
Yes, yeah.
for a video. Um, the setup to your videos, all these man on the street ones, a lot of them are really spontaneous. You're running up on someone and, hey, tell me your favorite artist,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
tell me what your Starbucks order is.
Mhm.
But other ones, you run up and you're like, hey, do you want to go on a mystery adventure with me?
Yeah, yeah.
Are those, they seem spontaneous, but are those set up because logistically,
Right.
I'm thinking of this as like a producer. Like you need probably like waivers, you need
Mhm.
probably, to get clearance from them ahead of time,
Mhm.
because it just seems like, oh, like we're going to go do this thing right
Right,
now. But like how
Right.
much of that is really set up prior to the actual camera rolling?
Right, right. So filming these like mystery adventure type of videos, they're actually really hard to like find like a random like realistically no random stranger would just be down to like come with me on like like a to go jet skiing at that moment. So like I would have to find someone prior. So sometimes I find a stranger and ask them if they would like to be in a video for a future video, and so then it's kind of set up that way. That's usually how it is. But my regular just like interviews, those are just like on the spot because those take less of people's time. And like for these mystery adventure ones, it takes a whole day. So like most of the time, random strangers wouldn't have the whole day to just like go jet skiing or like. I mean, it is fun. I mean, some people might be down, but I would be asking the whole island, if anything. So yeah.
So yeah, there's obviously some pre-production that goes
Yeah,
on
yeah, for
to
sure,
it.
yeah.
Awesome. You spend so much time on this, right? You spend 8 hours a day, but you're also going to school. Is this sustaining you? Is this like a source of income? Is this a means of living for you, making content?
Yeah, so throughout my journey on content creation, I've learned a lot like from other creators and friends on how to like monetize off of social media, and there's a lot of ways you can actually monetize off social media. You can monetize from the app itself. You can monetize from brand deals, like companies that reach out to you to promote their products, to promote their services, like the jet skiing or something like that. And they'll actually, depending on your following and your engagement, they'll pay you more. So, um, in the beginning when I first started these interviews, I wasn't making anything though. I was just doing it because I love to make videos, and so I just kept going. And I knew one day it would pay off. One day I would just be able to make more money. Money wasn't my main idea when I first started because that's a lot of people's first thought. When they think of social media, they're like, "Oh, I want to start because there's money involved." But I think that starting because if it's your passion will like be very good in the long term. Yeah.
You have to have a lot of confidence, right? To
Yes.
to walk up to strangers and ask them questions. And you talked earlier about the rejection and stuff. Were you always like an extrovert and outgoing growing up, or did that
Um,
take some practice and time?
It definitely took some practice for sure. I was mostly like an introvert my whole life. Like I would be in the back of the class. I wouldn't be like the star of the show, and I'm still kind of like that too. I'm like kind of more mellow. I don't really like to go out and be like the face of everything. Um, but yeah, I think before I started the interviews, I had a thought in my brain about doing interviews for like the longest time. I just didn't do it because I was shy, you know. But this past 2 years when I first started, I yeah, when I first started, I just said, like, screw it, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna try interviews and see how it does because it was like really trending at that time, and I was like, I think this can really do good for me. So I just blocked out the noise and I just went all in, and then I guess it paid off. So yeah.
It's That's a testament to just believing in yourself, and
Yeah.
obviously it snowballs. One good thing happens and you get a little confidence. You're like, this does work.
Hmm.
I am doing well, and you keep moving on.
Right.
Um, you say, I wouldn't say horror stories, but sometimes you see these man on the street style interviews, and something goes wrong.
Oh, yeah.
The I would say the least worst thing that could happen is just someone says no. But have you ever experienced like any sort of like, I don't know, like aggression or anything? I mean, these are more so like if someone gets a prank pulled on them. But has
Right,
anyone
right.
ever like been angry or upset?
Well, most of the time I'm just like very nice to everyone, and I like if they do get aggravated, then I just back off because I don't want to like engage in that. Um, so most of the time, no, that has not happened yet. Hope it won't happen, but yeah, I'm very. Whenever someone says no, I just respect that, and I just back away. And I just give them their space. Yeah.
Do people have to sign like waivers or anything, or that they're
Um,
like okay to be on camera?
So usually my approaching method, I just go up to them. I say, "Hey, would you like to be in a quick short interview by chance?" I'm doing this for like TikTok or Instagram, and most of the time they're like, "Yeah, sure, we're down." But sometimes they're like, "Oh no, we don't want to be on video," and I just say, "Okay, no worries," and then I just leave. Very simple.
Kind of a handshake
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of a
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
um, what would you say sets your videos apart from any other man on the street style videos?
Yeah, so I actually know a lot of friends that do man on the street. I have a few friends in like Miami and Arizona that do it. What sets me apart, I think, is I like to engage with the local community here in Hawaii, and there's not really like there's not what when I first started, there was not really much involvement with the community, and like a big creator like or like a big like person that like gives back, like shows the aloha spirit. That's like my thing, um, in Hawaii. So that's why I think that's what makes me different than the other people. Yeah, I bring a little of like Hawaii spice to it.
The Definitely that aloha spirit. I mean, I've seen several of the videos where you're giving food to homeless and things
Yeah.
like that. Where does that generosity and that aloha spirit come from? Obviously, you kind of probably grew up with that,
Hmm.
right?
So yeah, my family, very like my mom especially, she's very kind to everyone. She like puts everyone above her, and she does everything on like she puts people above her and does everything for them. So she's very giving, and so I think I get a lot of that from her, and I really like doing it. It's like it when I do these videos, sometimes I like don't even do it like just for the video. I just do it because like it makes them super happy, and it just like makes me feel happy to see them happy. You know. I think the coolest moment I did was I was giving this scooter to this like mom one day, and so she actually started crying because it was so nice, and it was the day that her son like got shot like 1 year before, and so I thought that was a sign of God because I'm also religious too, that God put me there to surprise her that day, and so I prayed for her, and it was just like a very wholesome experience that like ever since that experience I kind of wanted to go in that direction, and I feel like that's my like path in life that I wanted to do, and just to give back to the people.
What was the scooter for? What, like,
Yeah, so it was for Christmas actually. It was a Christmas video, and gave the scooter to her and her family. I surprised her. It was like there was a hidden camera, so they couldn't see anything. And I asked them if they got a Christmas gift this year, and they actually said no. And so I surprised him with the scooter, and then she started crying because her son got shot 1 year on that same day prior, and so um, that really like hit home. So I was like, I
This was like
just
in a mall somewhere.
this was actually in California, so I do videos like all over, mainly in Hawaii, but this was in California, and that was my first wholesome video I ever did, and that's like when I knew I had to go down this path. Yeah.
Was the scooter for? Did she have other children other than the
Yeah,
one
no,
that
yeah.
had?
She had three other kids, and they were like super excited to have the scooter, and just like seeing their faces like light up was like, it was just awesome to see for me. And I think that was like the turning point when I was like, okay, we're doing this, we're going all in now, you know? Yeah.
That's awesome. Um, you had we had talked prior to this. I got a little bit of background on you. You said your mom is all about aloha and everything, but you also said that your family's originally from Molokai. Is that
Yeah, yeah.
so? You live there as well,
No,
or
but my mom, she grew up in Molokai, and my dad was from here, but yeah, she moved here for college and to grow a family, but that's why like um, it's really cool to have those ties to like other islands, and I always visit Molokai a lot, and yeah, it's just awesome to have that island connection, you know.
definitely. And other things that we talked about is that you grew up and you went to UH Lab School.
Yeah.
And one thing that I found in my research of you on one of these like famous people websites was that you have played piano since you were 7 years old.
Yeah.
Do you still play piano? Is that like a talent that you keep working on, or what is music a hobby of yours?
So yeah, back in high school, I did a lot of different extracurricular activities. I played piano. I played violin. I did martial arts. I did judo like for like 12 years of my life. I'm actually a brown belt in judo. Um, and so yeah, um, piano was a very important like side hobby that I like to do. But after high school, I kind of drifted away because it wasn't like my true passion. It was kind of like a high school era where I was like exploring different things, seeing what I like to do, and what really stuck was like video creation. That's what really like stuck since high school, right?
You bring up the judo. You said you're a brown belt, but one thing that was also listed on the website was that you competed at the Hawaii High School State Championships.
Yeah.
How did you do in that?
So it was my freshman year. I've been doing judo for my whole life, and I actually went to junior varsity, and I got first place. And my coaches were like shocked, so they were like, you know, we're just gonna put this guy in varsity. It's my freshman year. Usually, freshmen they don't get to go to varsity because they're freshmen. So I just got put to varsity, and then I got fourth, I think, in the varsity championships. And then I got top four goes to states. So I just got into states, my freshman year, which is really crazy to me at that time. And in states, I won only one match, and then I lost two. So once you lose two, you're out. So yeah, but that was my freshman year, and sophomore year I was training really hard. I was trying to get back to states. I did get I tore my MCL though that year, and so that was tragic. And then the year after that was COVID, and the year after that was COVID. So my whole judo season was pretty much like non-existent after that. Yeah.
How did you tear your MCL?
During practice, someone got thrown on my leg, and my leg like bent the other way, and it was not a very good experience. But it was like the worst injury I probably had because it was the most annoying. It just pain lasted for like 6 months after that. Yeah.
Did you have to get surgery for that?
No, I did not have to get surgery. Luckily, it was just a slight tear. So yeah.
Does that bother you to this day, or
No. Yeah.
So you said that's the worst injury. Have you ever been in any real fights? Have you ever had to use your judo or martial arts skills in real life?
No, not never. I've never had to use my martial arts in real life. Hopefully never have to. But I think the worst injury I've ever had was actually like worse than this was my ankle. I broke it. Like, yeah.
How did that happen?
So I used to try to train for the show American Ninja Warrior back in the day. This is when I first started content. And I built a whole, I don't know if you guys know what the salmon ladder is, but it's like a, where you like jump the bar up. And so I built the whole entire thing in my backyard. I was like 11 years old. And I was actually pretty good. I have some videos I can put up later, but I was training because I wanted to go on the show. And one day I was training really hard and I fell down from the salmon ladder. And I didn't have enough cushion, and my ankle went back. Like, it was bad. It was bad. And so none of my parents were home, so I was just limping inside the house, and then I went to go check it at urgent care, and they said there's nothing wrong. And so I was like, okay, sounds good. And so I just went back home. Still was hurting. I went to the doctor, and then they said you have a break in your foot. And so they said you need surgery. And so I was like, okay, dang, I got to get surgery now. And so they put a metal rod in my ankle, a titanium rod. So that was my worst injury ever. But yeah.
Is that rod still there?
Yes.
Wow.
And luckily, it doesn't ring when the airport security thing. I go through the airport security. Yeah.
That's wild. So do you still train judo, or is that another hobby that's kind of gone by the wayside?
Yeah. So after high school, I kind of stopped judo as well, because I kind of like lost hope because I was training for the state championships again. But since COVID and stuff like that, there was like not really any end goal with it because COVID was so like such an uncertain time. So that kind of just faded away, sadly. But I've always had a good place in my heart for like martial arts and being like exercising. So that's why I currently just go to the gym. Yeah.
I see every now and again you post videos of lifting and so forth. So would you say your kind of main hobby outside of the content creation right now?
Yeah, I just love the gym because it's like a peace of mind. Like I like to do it, not just the working out, but it's just more mental health, and I think people should go get to the gym, not just because they want to get bigger, but because it helps them like relax. Like me, it helps to relax and relieve stress after like a long day of filming. And when I first started the gym, I was kind of intimidated too. A lot of people are intimidated when they get to the gym, but like everyone starts somewhere, so everyone was a newbie to the gym. So yeah, I recommend just anyone just go to the gym, and if you want to go to the gym though.
Do you have any goals, any fitness goals, or just like you said, for mental clarity?
Yeah, mainly for mental clarity and just living a healthy lifestyle. That's also plays a huge role in my life because whatever I eat and whatever I do is gonna reflect in other parts of my life.
Definitely. One of the hobbies that you had told me prior to here was that you like skating. I assume that's skateboarding?
Yeah, skateboarding. Yeah.
So were you an avid skateboarder in high school or currently? And what kind of skateboarding is it? Like tricks where you go up ramps or more just longboarding to get around?
I like mainly just cruise boarding, like longboarding. And I have a friend that got me into skateboarding. His name is Johnny the Ripper. He's a surfer out here, but he really got me into skateboarding and I fell in love with it. It was just something that I love to do. It's not really trick boarding, like tricks. It's mainly just cruise boarding. But I do like tricks on the cruise board, like hang tens and stuff like that. But I just used to do that. I usually do that in my free time. Yeah.
And, you are majoring in business.
Yeah.
what is your goal after college? You're at UH Manoa, right?
Hmm.
So what is your goal after UH Manoa?
After college, my I just want to like really focus on the content creation side of things, and also potentially make like a community um, where people can learn about content creation. That's my like kind of end goal with everything, is to help other creators like that want to start content creation and give them advice. Um, but obviously not like copy each other, but help one another and be authentic in their content creation. Yeah.
The same way I imagine the people when you first started took you aside and gave you hints and
Yeah.
tricks and strategies. You kind of want to impart that wisdom on the next generation.
Right, right. And I feel like there's not really anyone in Hawaii that's gonna be like the take the big step on that. So I need to really I feel like I should be the one to like help that, because content creation, like creator influencing, is not very common in Hawaii as it is like Los Angeles and like Miami and stuff like that. So um, I think growing the creator economy in Hawaii is something that I want to help and promote.
I read in one of the articles I saw online about you that your dream job is to be an interviewer on the red carpet
Oh yeah.
in like Hollywood. Is that true, or is that
Uh,
kind of did someone conflate what you're doing now?
yeah. So yeah, I think um, when I went to LA to see some friends, I got a chance to go on the red carpet and see a lot of movie actors, but seeing the interview guy interview all these big influencers was super cool to see. And one of them wanted to take me under their wing and teach me and stuff like that, but I was very busy during that time and in school. Um, so that could be a good side hobby or side job I could do, and that's something that would be awesome to do. I feel like it would be really cool also to have like a red carpet event in Hawaii for like movie actors and just creators. That would be really awesome.
I mean, we have the Hawaii International Film Festival coming up.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any plans to do anything with that?
I actually didn't know about too many details about that actually, but
There you go.
there we go.
That's your
Ticket
next
in,
your next
yeah.
videos right there. Hawaii
Right.
International Film Festival. They have
Is that in Blaisdell or?
there's showings and screenings at all different theaters and stuff, and I believe there's kind of one main night or of ceremonies and so forth. But yeah, go on HIF.com or HIF.org, and it'll
Check
have
it
all
out.
the info. I mean, that's your
Okay.
that's your in right there.
I'll have to check that out then.
Who are your inspirations for either content creation or just your goals in life?
My biggest inspirations for life and stuff is probably my parents. They are very hardworking parents, and so they really taught me in my early stages of life discipline and motivation. And so, especially like my dad, he really got me into judo and kind of forced my way to get into judo and class. But I think that's really good because I developed discipline, like showing up even though you might not want to show up. And so that kind of helped me in other aspects of my life. And same with my mom. They're very hardworking. They have really good jobs. So, yeah. And also, my friend Ian Boggs, he actually is a creator from Hawaii, but he moved to LA. And he is one of the best motivating content creators that I know that, like, help me out. Yeah.
What did he do for you?
He just is a very motivated person, and his drive is like insane sometimes. And so seeing that in real life and in real time, and him motivating me to do more, and you can always do more, like, is motivating for me to keep going. Yeah.
What did your parents initially think when you said or when you started posting content online and being a public figure of sorts?
Yeah.
What did they think? Because
Um,
being from Molokai, that's obviously
Right.
very rural, not a lot of people out there. So you now are like famous. So what do they
Yeah.
think about all that?
Well, in the beginning, they didn't understand, and they don't really understand a little bit to this day, because it's like a different generation, and social media really took off this past 10 years. But yeah, they think it's cool, right? But back in the day, they thought I was just wasting my time, you know. And I feel like a lot of parents think that too, because they don't understand. And I understand that because, you know, sometimes when you are on social media, you like think there's all these dumb videos. Why am I watching this? And but slowly they're understanding, and I understand where they're coming from.
Do you have to, at this point, now that you have over 1 million TikTok followers, 400,000 Instagram followers, do you have to convince them anymore? Or are you like, hey, mom and dad, like I can make a
Um,
living off of this. Like this is real. This isn't just kind of like a pipe dream anymore.
right. Well, I had a long conversation with my mom about finishing up college. So all she cares about me is just to finish college, and like that's like her thing. But also, I think having a college degree is also good too. So I'm doing it for both me and her. And I think doing that is my main thing. I just got to get over it with that first. But can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
Oh, just more so, do they, you know, question it now as much
Oh,
because you have such a following? Do you need to convince them that this is actually, viable to be a source of income or to help you make a living?
not really now, because most of the time they just see me doing videos, and it's kind of like it's been so long that they kind of just think I just do my own thing, and they will support me whatever I do, but they just don't really like fully understand it, but they still support me.
Do you ever want to incorporate them in your videos, or do you
Um,
try to keep your family away from
I like to
that public
keep yeah,
life?
I like to keep family and like personal life in like a separate kind of bubble, but it's sometimes hard because some other creators, they have everything online, and so that can be also detrimental in the long run because um, yeah, I like to have my personal life a little bit separate than the social media life.
What is life as a public figure like? Do you get recognized,
Uh,
or or are you able to kind of go about your day and not really get picked out of the crowd?
well, in Hawaii, it's a very small island, so like everyone knows everyone. So it actually is kind of hard because usually whenever I go out, I get like weird stares or like weird looks, or like someone would come up to me. And it's cool. I like seeing people, like the fans, and I just like to like say what's up to them. But also it's a little bit of pressure on me because I have to feel like look presentable and be presentable, like approachable when I talk to them.
Yeah. Do you ever feel inhibited in how you have to act and carry yourself because you feel like this will affect my persona or my image, my social media image online?
Yeah, I just usually am very nice about it. So whenever I go out, I just have to be in a very good mood. I have to make sure that like I'm just expecting it to happen almost. Um, and it's cool, but also I like to just like hide a little bit, because like I'm also like I'm like both an extrovert and introvert, so I like to like have some private time too. But sometimes that's hard when I want to go out.
Have you ever had any like actual bad interactions with people, or where
Um,
where you want to be kind of left alone and they either won't leave you alone, or that you're already having like a bad day and they come up on you, and have you ever been like, hey, back off, like, or anything
no,
like
no.
that?
Usually, I never would say that to anyone, like back off or anything. The worst time I think, or one of the worst, is when they were like some kids. They were like just following me around the mall. That was probably like a little bit weird, but like I understand because I used like, they wanna like talk to me or something like that. But another one was when they started like yelling across the mall, like, and like everyone was like like kind of confused about what was happening. Um, but I think it's cool though. I think it's fine, and um, yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always behind the scenes, so no one really knows who I am. So
Yeah.
I'm always interested to hear about the different stories that, the content creators here in Hawaii have to deal with the public. It's really good to know that, the young kids kind of shouting at you is the worst that you've had to deal with.
But it's not the worst. But it's just
Well, what is the worst?
no, it is the worst. It is. Well, I
Oh,
mean, that's like the worst that has happened.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, so yeah, it's great that that's all you've had to experience thus far. Hopefully, it doesn't get any worse than
Yeah.
that.
Also, it is hard too because sometimes when I do the videos, like my social battery like tanks, because I'm going up to like 50 different people, and so like when I wanna not have when my social battery is dead, then it's hard to like interact with people, like when
Like your
it
friends
matters. Right.
and your family.
And sometimes it's hard because I talk to like 200 people and I'm like going home and I'm like tired already.
Yeah. How do you deal with that? How do you compartmentalize or mesh the two worlds and try to have a healthy relationship with the people that are close to you after having dealt with a day of dealing with strangers?
I think it's about balance. I think I'm learning more about like balancing life and everything like that. It's hard though because there's so much going on. But I'm learning to balance work life and social life. And I used to be all about work like 80% of the time, but now I'm trying to like take more breaks, like not have to post this day if I don't really like want to. But I do force myself a lot out of the time to push stuff out there.
Talking about pushing stuff out there, is there any videos that have flopped for you where you thought they were going to be like
Oh, yeah.
really awesome and
Yeah,
then
many times.
and then it just like no one was watching, and then I'll stick with that question first and I'll have a follow-up.
Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely, this is very common for many creators out there. They like put their heart and soul into a video. They have a really good idea, and then the video just does really bad. And so this has happened many times to me, for sure. I recently just went to Arizona and I filmed a bunch of really wholesome videos out there, and they actually have all flopped. But
When you say flop, what does that mean to you?
like views wise,
Yeah.
for sure. Like, I would be getting like over 100,000 views, and then like those videos would get like 50,000. It would be like cut in half, and I'm like, this video is so good. Why is no one watching it? But then I can take a step back and analyze what went wrong, like why didn't it go viral, and now looking back, I kind of know why it didn't go viral. Yeah,
What
because
about it?
the hook was good, but the retention and keeping people engaged was a little bit off because I kept too many filler words in the video that people like would just scroll away. Like it was just too much talking in one of the first clips. Yeah.
So less, if you had to, put it into words, like when you say less filler words, what
Yeah.
what kind of filler words do
For
you?
example, I interviewed this girl and she was talking like there was no tomorrow. Like she was talking like so much. And so I had to cut a lot of that part out, but it was still very long, like maybe 5-6 seconds of talking, but during that 6 seconds people got bored, obviously, and scrolled. So cutting it shorter would have probably been better.
It's crazy how short the attention spans are, and how if you trail on for just an extra second or two, people are over that video.
For sure, yeah.
That other follow-up question, is there a video, sounded almost kind of like your first one, that went viral out of nowhere and didn't know why? Is there any like currently that you don't maybe necessarily put your heart and soul into, like these Arizona ones, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm just going to make a video," and then all of a sudden it pops and it goes viral and you're like, I don't really know why that one of all went viral?
Yeah, for sure, many times actually. My recent video that I did, trying someone's Foodland poke order, that one I was doing for fun. I was like, we're just gonna try this out, see how it does. Didn't really put too much effort into the video, but it actually did really good. So I was like, well, maybe I should do a series on this. So, yeah.
I mean, just hearing it sounds like a series. I'm gonna try a random stranger's poke order, or even that Starbucks one, right? Like just trying what other people are getting. I mean, definitely there's something there because it's interesting for sure. Yeah. Micah, we've been here for about almost an hour.
Okay.
That went by really fast.
Yeah, that went by really quick. Yeah.
So I want to just have you tell everybody where people can find you, where to follow you. You said you had 2 TikTok accounts.
Yeah.
So where's the best place people can see Micah Tengan?
So the best place right now that I'm at is currently on Instagram. You can find me at Micah Tengan with 2 N's at the end. I have 2 accounts. My first account was my original personal account. I'm actually converting that into more of a helping creators account. And my other one is more just my content in general. And also you can find me on YouTube and Snapchat and TikTok at very similar usernames. So Snapchat is Micah.Tengan. TikTok is Micah Tengan with 2 N's and 1 N. There's 2 accounts. And then YouTube is just Micah Tengan with 1 N. So, yeah.
All right, we'll have all the links and spelled out for everybody. Search Micah Tengan, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, any other place you could think you could find him. Micah, thank you for coming in. It's been a pleasure. And
thank you for having me.
See you on the next Slow Your Scroll. Thank you for listening to this episode of Slow Your Scroll. For more episodes like this, head to hawaiinewsnow.com/podcasts.